I had a lot of setbacks, but fought to overcome them. These are the steps I used. Today we are going to investigate simple techniques that anyone can easily do. Alright, let me show you examples of the top 1% of people who maximize this concept. This is quoted by a legendary basketball player, Michael Jordan.
If you're trying to achieve, there will be roadblocks. I've had them, everybody has had them. But obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it.
Highlighting Jordan's resilience in 1993, at the height of his career. Tragedy hit when Jordan lost his father, James Jordan, to a senseless act of violence. Heartbroken and devastated, he shocked the world by retiring from basketball to pursue baseball, a sport his father cherished. This chapter revealed Jordan's resilience in a new way. However, Jordan decided to return to basketball, leading the team to 3 consecutive NBA championships and proving his unstoppable nature in the face of adversity. Jordan's initial retirement might have seemed like the end of his legacy. He rejected being defined by tragedy, emerging like a phoenix from the ashes. His journey demonstrated that even in tough times, resilience can illuminate the path forward. Jordan was using a method from Dr. Kenneth Ginsberg, who did a study about building resilience. This method is used to cope with adversity. For example, when Jordan lost his father, he decided to retire from his career as a way to take a break to reduce his stress. It gave him time to stop and think about how to be more rational. This is a great way to cope with tough times. You can do this as well by either reaching out to a friend, or even going for a walk. Also meditate to not overwhelm yourself and wait a while to calm down before moving forward. It helps give you a clear mind so when you do pursue your goal you have more clarity. Here's a quote by David Goggins, an elite Navy SEAL in the U.S. Army.
We can't control all the variables in our lives. It's about what we do with opportunities revoked or presented to us that determine how a story ends.
Goggins wanted to support his fallen SEALs during the time he was deployed in the Middle East. He decided he was going to run the hardest marathons to raise money for the families of SEALs he trained with. So he signed up to a race called the San Diego One Day. His goal was to get 100 miles in one day. Surprisingly, Goggins did not prepare for the marathon. In 12 hours with not much water, or proper short breaks, he ran 70 miles straight. Seeing blurry vision, about to faint from lack of hydration. Nor has he used the restroom, so his body fluids are all over him. At this stage, Goggins is at his breaking point. However, he was not ready to give up just yet. With 30 miles to go, David started reaching into the cookies jar. He was reflecting on his past pain and how he overcame it. In that moment, he went from standing up to hydrating himself and slowly pacing the next 10 miles. The last 20 miles were filled with self-talk. He told himself that he was gonna finish this marathon or die trying. David was able to finish the race in 19 hours with 101 miles achieved. It's unbelievable how he could endure so much pain and keep pushing his limits. He did this by taking small steps in the direction of his goal. This is called decentering. A stress that is not being rejected or suppressed. This was referenced by an article written by Harvard Business Review Rich Hernandez. It's a method that gives us the ability to pause from our experience so we can categorize thoughts and emotions. This helps focus on solving the problem. Anyone can apply this concept. Even if you are feeling physical or mental pain that's happening in that moment. Start by breathing, then channel all your energy and focus into what task needs to be completed. It helps with being in the moment and breaks down your task in bite-sized chunks. This is a quote by a professional writer, Jodi Picoult.
The human capacity for burden is like bamboo, far more flexible than you'd ever believe at first glance.
It was almost the end of January. I'm going on almost 2 years at my job. I got a random message from my HR manager. They need to speak with me urgently. At the end of the meeting, I find out they are letting me go because they are doing a massive layoff. With scattered thunder, it was as if a huge dark cloud hovered over me. Tears of sadness and despair poured down my face. First few days were filled with disbelief. I was still having trouble in this roller coaster of emotions. I decided I was fed up with wallowing in my self-pity. In my mind, it was like drowning in the deep ocean. I used every fiber of my muscles to swim above water. Each day was an effort, but slowly I showed up to the marathon of life. The beginning of the day, I applied for 5 to 10 jobs to ensure I had consistent job interviews coming in throughout the week. However, I was getting rejected left and right, or they would never answer at all. It felt like I was falling 20,000 feet from the sky with fear and anxiety right by my side. So I decided to practice interview questions for up to an hour. Also, every few days I would follow up with certain jobs. This helped boost my confidence. Shortly after that, I was hired by a company that was willing to pay me more and was not doing layoffs. This is a quote by an American neuroscientist, Andrew Huberman.
Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change and adapt in response to experience. It's a powerful tool for personal growth and transformation.
For example, when I lost my job, my brain was distressed. At first, I didn't know how to handle the situation since I was new to that experience. Then once my brain adjusted to the feeling of anxiety, I was able to move forward in those uncomfortable moments. My focus was on what moved the needle the most. My brain created muscle memory to get used to looking for quality jobs and practicing interview questions. You can do this with any goal or challenge that you encounter. Here's a template with overcoming setbacks. Step 1. Be present. Remember, it's okay to feel uncomfortable emotions. It's what you do in that moment that will determine the direction of your goal/challenge. Step 2. Channel those negative energies into what task is within your control. As a fitness example, you feel anxiety because you think you got chicken legs. You take that anxiety and channel it into working out, doing squats and lunges every day. Because if you outwork your self-doubt and do squats every day, eventually you're gonna have really swollen thighs that can break a tree stump. Step 3. Repeat steps 1 to 2 for really long periods of time. This can be weeks to months, then eventually years. Over time, you're building character and providing proof that you're capable of achieving goals and overcoming setbacks. Think of it like a game. You start with level 1. Then over time you beat the levels while building resilience. There's always a tool you can add to the game of life. In the next video we dig deeper. Learn to eat that frog quickly and battle procrastination.